Noctis, Lucis, Caelum. Noctis.
Hell yeah.
Noctis, Lucis, Caelum.
Hell yeah.
Noctis, Lucis, Caelum.
Hell yeah.
Caelum.
Hell yeah.
Lucis,
Hell yeah.
Lucis,
Hell yeah.
Caelum.
ってやれたら待ってろよ。
Okay, now because I've had a busy week, hopefully I got enough information for how powerful Noctis. There's probably a few things missing. I'm sure people can give more feats, so on and so forth later in the comment section who know the series. So I'm just gonna get this out, gonna get it out quick. And with that said, let's get started. I will have further thoughts on this one later though. In terms of physical strength, Noctis can block attacks from Titan, a massive being who can catch a meteor with no damage on his part, along with being able to swat down fully armored flying chips with one hit. Now, Titan is the one who can do that. You see this in episode Ignis, and Noctis can block his attacks and overpower him to a degree. In terms of physical strength. And that's not including other feats you see from Noctis, like being able to slice through armored soldiers and technically mech suits since he fights those in the game. In terms of speed, Noctis was calculated at being massively hypersonic due to his Armger speed and of attacks and dodging natural lightning. He's fairly agile, especially considering that he can teleport around the place, but we'll touch a bit more on that powers and abilities. But there is evidence for faster than light movement or reaction speed. The versus battle wiki is currently debating that one right now. I already talked about it in my last video. It seems legit to me. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Seems fine. But, so yeah, he could be faster than light. In terms of durability, it's usually the same story with Final Fantasy characters. They're durable as fuck to blunt and usually energy-based attacks, as he can fall massive heights and be fine. And again, he did stop Titan, who can smack fully armored airships, causing them to explode in one hit, if you've seen episode Ignis. If that's wrong, please correct me on that one. Not quite sure what the elemental situation is with Noctis and his durability, because his equivalent equal in Arden was frozen fucking solid by Shiva, and he does shiver whenever she gets summoned, but that's kind of a joke because no matter how many times you try to summon somebody, you're always gonna summon Ramuh, the fucking lightning guy, MVP of the fucking game right there. Other guys fucking suck. I've only summoned Shiva one time out of combat. I've never summoned Leviathan. I think I've summoned Titan once, but I don't think so either. Every time I'm in trouble in summoning, Ramuh shows up like, I got you, bro! Thanks, man! For reals. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what the elemental situation is with him, since, again, Arden can be frozen solid, but, so he's most likely vulnerable to the elements, yeah. Also, like Final Fantasy characters, piercing attacks will go right through them like a butter knife. Like, you could probably shank him and be perfectly fine. It works really fucking well for the Tomberry! Little fucking guy walks around with the lamp. Oh, I'm a cute little guy. Shank, already fucking dead. But aside from that, he's superhuman in all regards. The usual story. If there are more durability things, so on and so forth, or clarifications there, please feel free to let me know. Okay, so now we're on the powers and abilities. I'm going to mention things that the weapons also give as well, because in the anime, he does fight with weapons outside of the royal arms. I'm not sure for the versus matchup between him and Cloud, I will include other weapons outside of the royal arms. I don't think that's fair, but we'll talk about that later. Noctis can fly and levitate, but only when his Armger is on, or whatever the fuck you call the ability where he summons all his weapons. We're gonna call it, Armger. That's what it's gonna be from now on. Yeah, so while he's in that form, he can fly and levitate around. Also, he has free-flowing teleportation during this form, as in he can teleport anywhere and whenever he wants in a... I want to say a short distance, but before you fight Arden, Noctis in his base form is able to teleport a massive fucking distance instantly. So teleportation is still instantaneous, but only in his army gear form can he teleport freely. Otherwise, he has to throw a weapon and then teleport to the weapon he throws out there. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so during this time, he's basically intangible, along with whenever he evades attacks by warping, or I guess technically teleporting. He does have telekinesis, as he does control the weapons with telekinesis. He has fire, ice, electricity manipulation. He does have he basically has fire, ice, and electricity, weather, fucking elemental manipulation. He does have healing abilities, as some of the royal arms provide increased healing and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get too much into stats, but I'm just going to talk about abilities like the shield. If you fucking use the shield, I use Royal Arms, so I know this. The shield heals you up. Next, we're going to go a bit to the Versus Battle Wiki because I had to fucking leave earlier today. And for the most part, I know I'm going to say this again because I know at some point someone's going to fucking say, but you talk shit about the Versus Battle Wiki all the time. Why do you use their powers and abilities section? Because in my opinion, the powers and abilities section is like the most accurate part of any of the Versus Battle Wiki pages. Very rarely is the powers and abilities section drastically wrong or wrong in some way. It might be missing something, but I looked over the page, looks fine to me. So we'll just go with that. Gravity manipulation is able to create a gravitational sphere that pulls enemies in. I believe that is with a weapon, because I've only seen that done with a weapon, and I've seen Prompto do it multiple times in the game. Precognition, able to see the depths of others. Not quite sure where that one kicks in. That might be... I'm not quite sure. If someone could provide a feat for that one, that's fine. Holy manipulation, energy blast, poison manipulation, curse manipulation, time stop. Time stop comes in because some weapons are imbued with the stop spell. If you play Final Fantasy 15, please let me know what weapons those are. I do not know what those are. Can rip a hole in the universe and banish enemies to the void. I'm assuming that's with the Ring of Lucille. Can summon various weapons in battle. Yeah, he has the ability to manifest his own weapons, so on and so forth. And his allies can also manifest those weapons along with people such as in the Kingsglaive, so on and so forth. But mainly Noctis' home crew of people. Normally I would talk about the home crew of people in this episode, but I'm trying to get this done as quick as possible. They will be discussed in the Further Thoughts video. As well as the Astrals to aid him in combat. They never show up. Can absorb elemental energies and the life force of his enemies. Can instantly kill enemies and barrier creation. Now, while Noctis himself never creates a barrier, all the kings of Lucis can create the wall. And that's not Donald Trump's wall. It's just a wall around their city to protect them from people they don't want to deal with. Huh. But aside from that, yeah, so he can create a wall, which is basically a magical barrier. Also, Kingsglaive members, as well as his father in the Kingsglaive movie, is capable of creating a spherical fucking shield around him. So Noctis should be able to create barriers, so on and so forth. I'm not going to talk about Noctis' weapons because it's an RPG and you can pick a lot of weapons to choose from. I will say this, he does have the Royal Arms, which I believe are 13? Yeah, there are 13 Royal Arms, and then there's the Ring of Lucii, which is his birthright. It allows him to use that fucking rip a hole in the fabric of the universe or whatever, or what does it say right here? Let me just click. Rip a hole in the universe and banish enemies into the void. That's what the Ring of Lucii lets you do. It's your spam button from when you're fighting the fucking giant-ass mountain turtle. It doesn't work on him. I keep spamming it on him and it doesn't work on him. The fucking thing shatters around him! I'm not sure if it got updated or I'm just doing something wrong, truth be told. Okay, so in terms of weaknesses, he has asthma, essentially, like magical asthma, to where, and this is actually present in his boss battle in episode Ignis. In fact, the way you actually beat him with Ignis, at the very least, the most effective way I found, I still haven't beat the boss fight yet, but that's because I don't get Ignis's counter strategy or like get back up movements. But the most effective way to beat up Noctis is the most effective way to beat up any cripple. You exploit their weakness. So you run up to him with the fire daggers, and you just go to town on him, and he's gonna keep dodging, you know, being intangible and shit. He's gonna think he's all fucking slick, and then the asthma hits him, and then you just fucking wail on him as he's fucking trying to recover his magical fucking, his mana points. So he has magical asthma. This is weird about the magical asthma. When you have the magical asthma, you cannot teleport normally, but you can teleport to warp points that restore your mana power right away. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but so while he does have asthma, in the boss fight he doesn't do that. Maybe it's because I'm fucking wailing on him, but I don't think he can teleport with that normally if he's in his magical asthma state where he's dying of an asthma attack. He's not really a good strategist if you've seen the anime, so on and so forth. He just usually goes for an overpower sort of thing. These are weaknesses, by the way. He is smart, but he's not that tactical or smart. And yeah, he does have a limit to how much damage he can take, as he was knocked out after the Leviathan situation. And during the fight with Arden, after he busts out his king power and fights his, again, essentially equal for the most part, but he's like limping around, you know. He can still move around and fight just fine, but you feel like if Arden, you know, basically they were both exhausted at that point. Noctis more than Arden, but yeah, so he does have a limit to how much he can take, and then he'll just start limping around. But he can still fight normally if you've watched the Arden fight. you'll see that he still warps around like crazy. So he wasn't under magical asthma at the time. Alright, that should about cover it for how powerful Noctis. Thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. Of course, if I got anything wrong, so on and so forth, let me know. I won't be doing power scaling here since in the versus video, I'm sure I'll get shit for that there. So thank you guys for your time as always, and have a nice day.
Noctis, Lucis, Caelum. 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 Noctis, Lucis, Caelum. Caelum. Caelum.